Alright, we're back from the store. This was the old trip lever cover plate that I bought, and here's the new bathtub overflow plate is what they call it. It looks almost the same, doesn't it? This one doesn't say Sterling on it. So we'll take this out of the box and we'll match them up, see if that's true. Don't lose the cotter pin. There are replacement screws here in this box in the bag. See, there's a new cotter pin there, that brass thing, and then there's the stainless steel screws. I don't know, this looks pretty good, folks. Let's take a look. Side view. Side view. It looks identical to me. Same size. Pin. I don't know what. Okay, so like there's a plastic bit here on this one that wasn't on the old one. Up, down, up, down. Okay, great. So what we're going to do is we are going to, well, I also bought a tub overflow washer as well, because there wasn't one on here before, and we're going to see if we need one here. $2, $3 for this guy. This guy was about 13. So up and over. There's the washer. Now, is that going to interfere with my lining up the screws? I don't know. But we'll leave that on there for a moment. Maybe I can just plug them in there, actually. Yeah, I think I'll just push them in there. And that's not really going to work. So I'm going to take this back to the store, which you can do because I don't need it, and I saved my receipt. So take this guy back, get that dirt off of there for them. These are nice people at the hardware store. Always treat your always be kind to the friendly folks at the hardware store. They are there to help you, and they will help you if you're nice. I know when you're going through plumbing projects, it can be very stressful. You're running back and forth to the hardware store. I'm taking the screws out of the bag now. Mind the cotter pin, and then you know you're running back and forth, and you're angry because you want to get things done. Alright, these screws are a little bit longer than the other ones, and we definitely want to try and make sure that they fit, because we know the old screws fit. We don't want to get like halfway down here and then find out that these screws are not the same threads. And I always do this whenever I get replacement screws, because I still have the old screws. I could use those. I could clean those up. But why not use the new ones if they will work? So I know there's no back to these because I have a panel in the back that I can remove that somebody else who had done tub repairs had left in place, so that's cool. So I'm good. I think we're good here. Gonna go ahead and unscrew these. So the first step would be to take this cotter pin out of the old linkage. I guess that's what we're going to call it, a linkage. I remember political science class, we used to talk about linkage all the time. Linking human rights with foreign policy. They called that linkage back in the day. So anyway, linkage in this case is this thing here that's linked together here, and we're going to take this cotter pin out of these holes right here. See? I hope you guys saw that. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, and then the new cotter pin, there's two of them here, maybe so in case you mess one up, you can see it. Whoops. Right here. I'm looking backwards, so that's why I moved my hand around all that. So, right, so there's the hole for the cotter pin. Make sure you got it right side up. Right side up means that this full part here is on the top and this half part here is on the bottom, because that would be where the water would go in to overflow if it did. overflow, which I'm never ever going to do, so I'm not too worried about there being a washer here. And another thing you might want to do is cover this drain with a cloth or a plastic bag while you're doing this, so that your cotter pin, when you drop it, doesn't go down the drain, because you will drop it over. If there's an opening, you will drop it. That's just the law of nature there, you know. So through this hole, through the hole on the drain plate cover, the lift trip lever cover, and through this hole. Now, what I need to do is I need to straighten these pins out. So one of the tines is longer than the other, so that you can do that. I'm doing it with my bare hands, which is really dumb. So I'm going to use these pliers. And I'm going to pull them apart. Pull the longer end apart to one side. And then pull the shorter end to the other side. Okay, so when I'm done, it looks like this. Okay, so what you've got here is, you see what I'm doing here? Did I do that right? Did I do that upside down? This is gonna work. So here, let me explain that a little bit better with the other cotter pin. Great. So here's your cotter pin, right? See how at the top, see how this part is a little bit longer than this part? That's so you can get a pliers or something like that to bend that part over. And once that's bent, then you bend the other part over, and then you end up with, they're bent apart like that, so that they won't come out of the hole. All right, good. So we're done there. Now we put it back in place. We try to line up these screws, which is always fun. It's like putting together a door lock, you know? You ever put together a door lock and the screws don't line up? I just did that recently. I should have done a video on that. I found one that was, it actually said easy to assemble, and it was. And I was shocked. Now see, I'm testing it, and that's going to work. So that's good to do before you tighten it all the way. I really wish that gasket would have worked. But you know what I'm going to do instead of the gasket? Oh, back to the door lock thing. I did find a model that was actually easy to line up, because usually you're sitting there with a flashlight and you line up one hole and you can't line up the other hole. This one wasn't too bad. So, yeah, so now, of course, it's Phillips head instead of flat nose standard screwdriver, so I gotta go get a Phillips. I'll be right back. Hang on a second, folks. So I should have checked that ahead of time, but that's okay. Phillips head works just as well as the standard one. Now, here's something I noticed on the old one, which was kind of genius, and I might actually do. So what I'll probably do when I get this thing in place is I'll probably put a bead of caulk around this edge right here, the top edge. You want to leave this open because that's your overflow. But what I noticed was, and I don't know if this is corrosion or if this is actually, I think what they did was, I think they put a little bit of caulk inside these holes to keep water from spilling in there, and then having it rust shut so that when it's time to take this thing off again, it's too hard. So I might actually do that too. But for right now, this works. So we're done. So thank you, Jim, for saving me the money to come out here and do this for me. And by the way, I owe you. I will definitely buy you lunch the next time I see you. And that will be payment for your years of knowledge becoming a master plumber. So here's me with absolutely no plumbing experience, except handyman, you know, like just owning my own house, kind of fixing stuff. And I did that, and it didn't take too long. The longest part of that was going to the hardware store and back. So we're done here. This is functional. You can hear it. You can hear the plunger stop in the back, the stopper, and then here you can see that it'll go up and stay up. So that's that. So what could have been, who knows how much I would have been charged by a non-friendly plumber. I don't know. But that was, let's see, 15 bucks and a little bit of time. So I hope this helps somebody out there. If you can save money doing it, that's great. If you like the video, please like it and share it, and subscribing to the channel helps me because, you know, folks, I'd love to make these videos all day long for you, but I have to work 44 hours a week, sometimes 54 hours a week in order to survive. So if you could subscribe, then if I get 1,000 subscribers, I think Google will start paying me for you people watching these videos, and maybe I could do this more often, if not full time. So thanks. Leave a comment if you liked it, and tell me what I did wrong, and that's fine too. If you have any tips or anything, let's do this together. You know, we're all in it together. You don't know what you don't know. I didn't know an hour and a half ago how to do this. Actually, an hour ago, and now it's done. So share the wealth. Share your knowledge. Talk to you later, YouTubers.